Welcome back to the Patriots wrap on this bye-week Sunday with the Gresh Man. All right, the matchup is set, Patriot Titans. What is your initial thoughts on the matchup?
That the Bills suck? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get that out of the way. The initial thoughts are that a lot of people who are saying, oh, it's a second bye week for the Patriots, that's a little much. This is a team that, quite honestly, has taken someone from the Bill Belichick tree in John Robinson in building that franchise. And when you look at what they've done a lot from the inside out, trying to strengthen the lines of scrimmage. They're the team, of course, that signed Logan Ryan in the offseason. So there are a lot of people who are familiar with the New England way in their program, but I just think it's a coaching mismatch. Oh, yeah. One guy's playing tiddlywinks and the other guy's playing chess with Kasparov, for crying out loud. That's how big the difference is in that matchup. And Marcus Mariota, who did a fantastic job in Kansas City, I think just gets swallowed up in this environment. It's a whole different animal coming to New England.
Yeah, and listen, he rallied them to 3 touchdowns in the second half to beat the Chiefs. But I watched that game last night in the comfort of my own home last night, and I was left, is he good? I don't know. Is he a top-tier quarterback?
No, I think he's on the way. And look, there are very few that do what Tom Brady did, which was, play in your second year, go to a Super Bowl, improve dramatically. And I think with a guy like Mariota, you're also figuring out the best way to use him as well. He needs to run the ball for them to even have a remote chance of beating New England, a little bit like Cam Newton. I know they try to protect him, but they're going to have to turn him loose in some way, shape, or form. They got a big guy back there in Henry in terms of the running game, so it's an interesting combo with those guys. Mariota is not great, but obviously, as he showed in Kansas City, he's got some guile.
All right, we haven't spoke since that ESPN bombshell about the little bit of a divide in the Patriot hierarchy. We in the media love this kind of stuff, the gossip, because we only like to talk so much X's and O's. Is this as big of a deal as we're all making it out to be? Because a lot of fans I talk to are saying fake news, fake news. I don't know if that's a product of ESPN in this area, but what was your reaction to it?
Look, I think everybody focused on the Garoppolo part of it when there seems to be a lot of information and people that I've talked to indicate that no code red was ordered by Tom Brady and none was ordered by Robert Kraft. So when you take that part out of it, it really boils down to a professional disagreement about Alex Guerrero. And we talked about it here, Yianni. The Belichick made a mistake letting him in the building. It created a conflict of interest. I mean, do we really think that after 17 years now, Tom Brady is going to start to bristle at the way Bill Belichick coaches him? I mean, come on. Brady's with the program, and he has been for a long time. I think there's a little bit of fire here, but it's not enough to cause a divorce at all.
The fallout, the Patriots releasing a statement. Tom Brady spoke about it on Westwood One last night. You had all the New York tabloids with the come to the Giants.
Sure.
Has this created a life of its own? We know come tomorrow we'll hear from Bill on the teleconference, but where are we at right now?
Well, look, if I'm a Giant fan, I'm going to be hammering my owner if he's not calling and offering the #2 overall pick. But see, Giant fans want Bill Belichick for free because they think something bad is going to happen here. Where are we at? We're business as usual. It's guys who've issued statements. They did it so that tomorrow when Belichick gets asked about it, he says we've already put out a statement and we're on to Tennessee. So we know he's just going to deflect away. And if they go out and win by, say, 4 touchdowns, this is all going to calm down very quickly. And then people around here, if Pittsburgh wins, will flip to, well, the offensive coordinator doesn't talk to their quarterback. So if we're going to get into dysfunction, everybody is going to start comparison shopping between the Patriots and the Steelers as most of us get ready for them to just play an AFC championship game.
I think we all probably can agree Belichick would stay New England for a longer period of time if Garoppolo was here than maybe how it is now with Brady staying.
Listen, I think everybody is turning it into Belichick connected to the quarterback, and no one is talking about the fact that at some point Robert Kraft is 76 years old, is not going to be the guy at the top of the masthead. When you read the stories and it says Bill Belichick called Robert Kraft, who then said, let me call Jonathan and see what he thinks. Look, at some point Robert Kraft is not going to be either around or running the organization and being the guy that Belichick goes to. So maybe Bill Belichick is looking at it like a lot of other companies in this country where high-level executives, whenever there's a change way at the top, they say, you know what, I've been here long enough, I'm out. I'm not saying there's a rift between the two, but Bill Belichick knows what he has in Robert Kraft. He maybe doesn't exactly know what he has once Jonathan takes over.
And those two aren't as close, Jonathan and Bill,
well,
as
I
Robert.
know. I mean, yeah, I think it's fair to say that, you know, Jonathan has to be the bad guy in the organization sometimes, and Robert is. Look, Robert Kraft is about building bridges, not creating divides. And I'm not saying that Jonathan is, but I think people are, oh, quarterback, quarterback, quarterback. Well, what about the person that Bill Belichick has to answer to? That's the reason he came here in the first place.
Quickly, Roger Goodell and Bill Belichick, best friends, like that story was insinuating?
Again, Wickersham stands by his reporting while most look at it and laugh. That's another one of those that I think people chuckle at.
And Garoppolo getting locked at TV12. I thought those two details were a little...
that and Robert Kraft ordered Jimmy Garoppolo traded.
Yeah.
You really believe that?
No, but I personally believe there was an understanding that Bill couldn't get rid of Tom.
But I don't think that changes any... look, I don't know if that would have changed a lot because I don't think he wants to get rid of Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, the owner's not going to look at him and say, get rid of Brady. And again, look, if Belichick wanted to find a way to keep him here, I think he could have, or they would have found a way to work something out. The sand ran out of the hourglass. I mean, look, when they got to a point with nut cutting time in terms of paying Richard Seymour, what'd they do? They traded him. Logan Mankins, after a while, they traded him. Ultimately, the number was going to be too much for them to be able to keep him. And you go back to Belichick's, what he said in the press conference, where it's just not a sustainable situation. But I love it how everybody thinks it can be. Because if Bill Belichick kept a $20 million backup around just to satisfy his own ego, and then the team wasn't as good, next year everybody that's hammering him for trading Garoppolo would be killing him for keeping him.
All right, there you have it. Andy Gresh. Much more coming up with Gresh about the rest of the action in the NFL coming up right after this.